we operate in God's kingdom. And in God's kingdom, there is an endless supply of innovation and creativity. The increase of his government and rule, there shall be no end. The kingdom of God is very, very wealthy, more wealthy than you or I have the capacity to understand. To the Lord belongs all the silver and gold. So every time I educate you about land, I'm winning. Every time you get more wealthy, I'm winning. Every time your family has a breakthrough, you engage in ministry, you make disciples, you build Goshen, you start businesses, and you occupy, you get wealthy. And here's the final crazy, dark, twisted, amazing, both majestic, awesome thing I need to tell you. Man, so real estate. I guess there's something amazing that is going to bless you on your real estate journey. One thing is literally anybody can get into real estate. And secondly, it is spiritual warfare. It is a way of you gaining ground and building wealth through real estate. So I remember back in St. Louis, Missouri, 20-something years ago, in 2000 actually, so 25 years ago now. I remember I just was looking around at houses, single family houses, like your standard 3-bed, 2-bath houses, and it just caught my interest. And so I bought a course by this guy called Carlton Sheets. If you're old like me or middle-aged, you might remember that, maybe not. And I went through the course in the summertime, and I did what he said. And with my just taking baby steps into real estate, I was trying to figure out, how do I buy my first house where you have to come up with all this cash as a down payment? And the mortgage guy would tell me, well, for this investment property here, you're going to have to come up with $10,000. This one here, $20,000. This one here, $15,000. And I was scratching my head thinking, man, how am I going to do this? And I actually this is what happened. I found a house, and it was actually freshly renovated. There really wasn't anything to do other than the yard was a mess. And I go to this house. It's freshly on the market. I don't know how I'm going to make money out of this, but I don't know. It caught my attention. I go up. They had some sort of open house thing, so it's not even finding it off market. It's just breaking all the rules. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even know why I was at this house. I talked to the guy, and he says, "Yep, I'm selling it here for $150,000." I get talking with him, and I just tell him my story. So I was building a bit of relationship. You find stuff out when you dig around. And I told him, look, I'm just trying to make some money to even have the money for a down payment to buy a house that I can then either fix up and flip it for more money or rent it out or do something. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm studying this course. And the guy said, well, I want $150,000 for it. And it's up to you. You know, I've already renovated it. There's nothing left to do with it. But if you want it, you can sign a contract today and take it, and then maybe you could rent it out, do what you want, and have access to it. He said, I don't care. Sell it for more money. And that phrase just dropped into my head when he said, I don't care. Sell it for more money. And I was like, wait a minute. So I started talking to him. I said, hey, if I sign a contract with you today, and I actually worked it out for a little bit under $150,000, because I wanted to try and haggle a little bit and get a deal, but it must have been close to $150,000. I said, wait a minute, if I sign a contract today, can I go and sell this house somewhere for more money? He's like, do whatever you want. Go sell it for more money. And I was like, wait a minute. If I sign a contract with you today, I don't need to pay any money today, do I? And he's like, well, no, you and I both know that the money is due at closing in 30 days. I was like, okay, yeah, I know that. And I was like, wait a minute, another question. If I sign a contract today, can I change the terms of the contract just a little bit, push it out a little bit longer than 30 days so I can find the person I'm going to sell it to, my buyer? And it's like, yeah, okay. I don't want to go too long though. I'll give you 40 days. So we signed it. So I was like, whoa, you can change the terms of the contract to be more favorable to how I need it? I was like, wait a minute, one more question. Over the next 40 days, while I'm trying to sell this house. Can I have access to the house in the lockbox? And he said, sure you can. You have legal right to access it. We'll put it in the contract. You have equitable interest. Boom, this word. I was like, what? Stop. I was just getting a whole massive education simply by showing up and talking to somebody in the industry. It was even better than the course I'd bought. And I said, what's equitable interest? It sounds fancy. He said, equitable interest is this. Equitable interest, he said, is when someone like you comes along and signs a contract to buy this piece of real estate. You have certain rights that you can enjoy, like, and we'll write it in the contract, access to this property. You can't mess with it. You can't ruin it, but you can access it and you can show other people who may be interested in buying it from you. You can show the property. You can clear the yard. You can have legally walk on this property. And it just blew my brains out that I could actually, for no money down, have the opportunity. That's what this is, the opportunity to have something under contract. So then I can see if I could go find another person that would come along and buy the property for more money. So I did the crazy thing, signed a contract, and I saw in the contract what was already written in the terms, that I would be allowed to break the contract with this guy if it didn't pass my inspection criteria. So I had something like 14 days. So I knew I was safe writing a contract. I think I had to give a earnest money deposit, which was pretty small, definitely no more than $500. This is what I did. I put an ad in the paper, and you used to do that back then for like $30. You don't do that now, do you? I don't know if you do. But I put an ad in the paper, and I put an ad there, and I said, moderate credit, okay, 0 down payment, $175,000. And I talked to an appraiser and I asked them, I said, hey, I think I got a deal on this house. Could this be worth 175? And they came and did a appraisal of the house. It was actually worth right at 170. And that doesn't mean the market would necessarily immediately people rush in and pay 170, but based on the value of the other houses, it was 170. So I was like, no way, I've got an opportunity now. I can actually literally buy this for just under 150. I can sell this for like 170. I had a bunch of phone calls from people. Who knew? People want to buy a house for no money down that have moderate credit. That's like not amazing, but not terrible. My mortgage broker helped me find a family there. They got their mortgage pre-approval as long as they put $5,000 down. So you know what I did? I signed an agreement with them to buy my house for $170,000 with $5,000 down. So they came to the closing table. I came to the closing table, and all in one day, I bought the house and sold the house. All in one day. I went in one room and I signed the paperwork. It's called a double close. And then I went in the other room and I sold it for $170,000. And when the lady at the title company said, where are the funds coming for the family? I said, I got a program. I got a no money down program. And she said, yeah, but where are the $5,000? It's on this check. I wrote them a check for their $5,000 down. So this family was beside themselves crying with joy at the blessing of having home ownership that they never could have because they didn't have the down payment. So many Americans don't have any savings whatsoever. So I'm telling you this story because through all of the ups and downs of real estate, you can literally just start sniffing at a piece of land, figure out who the owner is, and get such an education. You can just make a few phone calls and figure out such an education from title companies, from realtors. You can go to a house that has the lawn, that's had bad lawn care, the grass is really, really high, knock on the door and just ask them, hey, what's going on? I'm just in local areas wondering about buying the house. You can get such an education. That's where my whole journey began. And amazingly, my first deal was this double close. And I left the closing table that day with the net of that $20K gross. So just over 15, it was just over 20K. So it's just over $15,000. Blew me away. And I didn't build the house. I didn't renovate the house. I cleared a couple of old doors and some shrubs off of the land. Literally 25 minutes loading it in the back of a trailer. So that almost no sweat equity in that. Time, curiosity, prayer, interest just got me going. What is it going to be for you? You might just call someone on a parcel of land. They just need the cash. We do land in our land business right now, where every day we're calling people. We actually have it used to be me. I was like, hey, will you sell your land? Hey, will you sell your land? Now we have a team of callers. They call, hey, would you be interested in selling your land? So many people, their plans change. They're behind on their taxes. It is such a win for them to help them. And you can pick up land way below market value. And we look to buy land at 50 to 60 cents on the dollar. People have like $5,000 in tax arrears. We pay it at the closing table. I come out with no money out of pocket. So that's what happened to me in St. Louis. So we've been through so many ups and downs. And what we did is we created all of these pieces of content, all of these videos for you, a free course for you, downloadables for you, because I believe in the kingdom of God, it is worth sharing the information and helping you get into real estate where you can flip land. I got one other final thing that's exciting to tell you. But first of all, just consider it. Is land for you? We go and we look at the land. We put a contract on it for no money down. We find our buyer. They buy it at that market level, and we keep the difference in between, which as the current data is an average of $20,000 per parcel of land. We have done parcels of land over 6 figures. And we take those outliers out of our calculation and still have $20,000 average profit. It's incredible. Solves a problem. It's a great industry. Oh, and why did I want to tell you about the kingdom? People think you're working with a pie. And it's ridiculous. You've been told a lie. If it were a pie, I wouldn't be telling you this information, because then I'll take a piece of the pie, you'll take the piece of pie, and there'll hardly be any pie left. It's not pie. It is not pie. We operate in God's kingdom. And in God's kingdom, there is an endless supply of innovation and creativity. The increase of his government and rule, there shall be no end. The kingdom of God is very, very wealthy, more wealthy than you or I have the capacity to understand. To the Lord belongs all the silver and gold. So every time I educate you about land, I'm winning. Every time you get more wealthy, I'm winning. Every time your family has a breakthrough, you engage in ministry, you make disciples, you build Goshen, you start businesses, and you occupy, you get wealthy. And here's the final crazy, dark, twisted, amazing, both majestic, awesome thing I need to tell you. When you do land this way, and you use that clause of equitable interest that I just taught you, the demonic forces of hell also use God's principles. They move in on regions and areas in cities, just like a squatter that moves into a vacant house and is given ridiculous rights in some cities and states like California, some countries like the United Kingdom, where they actually have some rights to even be in your house. And if you don't make any motion to notify the authorities and the local jurisdiction that they need to be politely asked to get off of your land, it actually becomes their property eventually. That's what Satan does. He's an illegal squatter. He's moved in on your business activity. He's moved in on your wealth. He's moved into your mind. That's the greatest real estate there ever was. And he's sold you a lie that you're stuck, that you can't do it, that you can't win, you can't create it. And yet God says, I give you the power to make wealth. Deuteronomy 8 and verse 18. Only you need to come through prayer, fasting, and knowledge. And you need to uproot those wicked demonic strongholds. And you do that through prayer, fasting, and knowledge. And you do that the same way we've seen it in real estate with equitable interest. You will move those areas out of your heart and mind and your space, and you will do business, but you'll do it with a greater level of understanding and spiritual might and power. Don't let the enemy have equitable interest in your business dealings. Educate yourself. Build Goshen. Become a part of this community at Goshenites.com. Build wealth. Acquire land. Develop land. Flip houses, buy houses, rent houses, Airbnb houses. Real estate is for everyone. If you're interested in what we're doing in the Goshen community, all of the live training, the coaching, the courses we're producing, jump over to our Instagram at Goshen.official, DM us the word wealth, and our team will send you a link so you can join.